Let's see. Good morning. Good Monday morning. Uh it's another week. I think this is week 4. Week 4 of doing these hour-long mumbo jumbo sessions. Each week is just a little bit harder than the last one because I feel like I just leave everything on the table the week before, and then I have like 6 days to figure out something else to talk about. But we're here. We're on track for putting out a million of these videos. This is number 4. We are slowly climbing. But this is what, about 4 weeks? Yeah, a month of doing this, and honestly, it's going smooth. No complaints. I'm just waiting for the day that this really starts to take off, and then I can get some like satisfaction from that. Like, um, I don't know. That would be nice though. That would be nice just to not. That's one thing. I don't want to be famous. Um, I don't think I would ever want to be famous. I just want to be well off. Like, I just want to be in a position where I can comfortably sustain my lifestyle. It's not too much to ask. I don't need like paparazzi. I don't need, people coming up to me uh, as I'm like walking the dog and trying to like take a picture or something. I'm not asking for that. That does not interest me. What does interest me though is being able to just do this like for the rest of my life. That's something I'm very can you be passionate about that? Because I am. I'm passionate about not working for the rest of my life. There's a lot of people out there that will tell you in the space of like self-help and stuff, like, well, once you find something, like once you find your purpose or your passion, then that doesn't turn into work. Like, that's just you doing what you love. I'm all for it. My definition, in my personal definition of what that would look like is this: you're listening right now to it. I mean, it's literally, if I could make my living and win, I'm gonna call my shot. When I make my living, just like lounging like I am here, whoops, um, and this can be like a full time thing, I'll be so content. Like, you have no idea how content I will be when this finally clicks. So if there's anybody out there that's listening that has connections, I don't even know what connections I would be looking for or how to like actually like expand this. Like, I'm just doing this just because it's fun for the time being. But if anyone out there that's actually listening has some legitimate connections with people that might be able to expand this, let me know. Let me know. I'm waiting for those individuals to come forward, and just know that my entire future in this space totally depends on you. If you have that connection, don't gatekeep, don't hold it back. Just shoot me straight. Let me know. Um, let's see. Speaking of like congratulatory like celebrations, I don't even know if that's what I was technically talking about, but I'll take it there anyways. This morning it was so sad. I was trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to be talking about today, and I saw something that just really, it was like, now I can't find it. That's a bummer. But I'll just spitball it. I was on Reddit, and I noticed there was someone asked Reddit, men, when was the last time you received flowers? Now, I'm not an emotional guy. Not like out out front, outwardly. I'm not outwardly a emotional guy. I mean, when I'm laying in bed, at like 11:30 at night staring at the ceiling, I'm emotional. You could say that, but I think everyone is. But in the face of the public, like I said before, like sticks and stones may break these bones, but words can never hurt. Yeah, I'm that guy. Like I'm not like flowers as much as, let me just answer the question. The last time I received flowers, I genuinely don't know. And I don't know if I've received flowers for sure like once or twice in my entire existence. One of them for sure was like 8th grade graduation. When when you're at the ceremony with all your like middle school friends and all the parents are in the stands. And then as you walk to like graduate, across the stage, which is just the middle school varsity basketball gym floor, they like shake your hand, tell you good job or whatever, and then they sent us off with like one like rose. Um, but aside from that, I'm trying to think of another time that I've gotten flowers. I just don't think it's happened, to be honest with you. I don't think it's happened. Now, I'm not saying that I would turn down, like if someone were to give me flowers as a man. Um, I think that would be a nice gesture. Um, yeah, I think. I mean, I've done plenty of handing out flowers, like dude, Mother's Day, past like relationships. I'll toss out a flower here or there, not just a flower, but like a bundle of flowers. Um, like that's not the issue. I'm more than willing to, if you're if you're worth my time, I will go out of my day to make sure that when you get home from work, there's just a fresh vase of flowers just waiting for your arrival. Um, I don't see that happening very much the other way, though. If I was in a very committed relationship right now, let's see. One, that would be awesome. Two, if said individual were to, if I was to show up after work and my girlfriend had given me or had brought home like a bundle of flowers, granted, as this type of individual, I'm not gonna like, that's just eye candy. That's something for the place that I live in to look good. Something to take up space, but like look good aesthetically doing so. Um, but from like an emotional standpoint, like up front, I'm just gonna be like, oh babe, you didn't have to. A dozen red roses on the counter in a vase? Are you kidding me? Like that's too much. And then I would have to like sweet talk her. But realistically, in like deep inside, I'm probably just like, yeah, like great gesture. Not gonna dog it, but like low key, that's great. You can have them. Like not to be an anti-emotional guy in this situation, but flowers for me just aren't it. But I'm not going to reject the idea of getting flowers handed to me. Like I do like the concept of giving flowers. Like it's cool. The best part about getting flowers is probably like the way that they make the surrounding area smell. Like it just freshens it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, but as a male individual, I mean, I don't remember the last time I received flowers, but that's okay. Like that, maybe not flowers, but ladies, listen up. You don't need to buy your man flowers. But let me tell you this. If you did buy your man flowers, he's going to have like a little chip on his shoulder. He's going to have a little boost of confidence. As much as it might not show and as much as he might not exclaim to you that like, wow, this is great. This is a bundle of flowers. Deep down, like just know that when if he goes into that bathroom door and closes it after you give him flowers, like he's just looking at himself in the mirror, just asking himself like what he did to deserve this. Because it's it's a very kind gesture. I would also say that maybe like a gift card somewhere would be a similar kind of outcome. I mean, if my girlfriend showed up with flowers or a $25 gift card to let's just say Chipotle, um, first of all, she gonna get it. Second of all, yeah, give me the Chipotle. You keep the flowers. Let's move this thing on. Like, yeah, yeah, I'll take that. Um, doesn't it honestly doesn't take much to. This is just me speaking, but it doesn't take much to what's the satisfy like a male individual, like from my perspective. Um, flowers is it like I said, flowers is a kind gesture, but it's not necessary. But the thought of giving something, um, that's where you get me. You could be giving me like, uh, well, I'm gonna take that back. If you showed up and I showed up after work and you brought to me like a, oh boy, oh, you guys ever seen those like, it's like a trend on TikTok right now where like people in relationships, they'll like paint each other, right? And then they show each other afterwards. And usually like the girl does a pretty bang up job and the guy you don't know if you're looking at the girl or what's supposed to be the girl or just like a Freddy Krueger reenactment scene. But either way, if she showed up with like a hand drawn paint or a hand painted like thing like that, that's gonna. I mean, again, me personally, I'm not gonna. I'll take the flowers in that case. I'll just leave it there. I'll oblige to take the flowers over this 15-minute hand painted portrait of myself. Yeah. So the last time I received flowers, probably like 8th grade, but that's okay. My future wife, I know you're listening. Flowers, listen, you don't got to do that. You don't got to do that. Just show me some genuine, authentic love. Just show me that deep love. And that's good enough for me. Okay, you have my word. I'm saying it right now. It's solidified on stone. That's all you need. The day that I come to you and be like, yo, bitch, where's my flowers? Then you can show me this clip and I could be like, you know what? I forgot. I'm not a flower boy. You're right. Let's go to Chipotle. And we'll move on. Yeah, so I mean, another thing that I saw when I was looking for things to talk about today, I didn't look into it. I just saw the headline. So we're gonna dabble into this because this is an interesting story. It's a news article and it says children race to collect marshmallows dropped from a helicopter at a Detroit area park. First impressions, children racing to collect marshmallows dropping from a helicopter at a park. So basically, there was a park in Detroit where a helicopter was just flying above and just absolutely unloading like these squishy marshmallows down below on like just raining on top of kids. The caption for this photo says, "It rained marshmallows at a suburban Detroit park as children raced to snatch up thousands of the gooey treats that were dropped from the helicopter." Why? Like, first of all, why are we doing this? Again, I haven't read any of this, but like initial impressions is why are we dropping marshmallow pellets from the sky? I mean, I guess like it's for the kids, you could say, but at the same time, like, yo, give your kid, like, kids don't care about it. Like, when was the last time you saw kids outside? I couldn't remember the last time I saw kids, like, just outside having fun. Like, how I used to grow up, I would just, if I got bored, I would have to go outside because I didn't have, like, shit to, like, just mind numb myself with and, like, doom scroll. So the fact that they got kids out out in the sun, in the park, doing something other than just scrolling, I guess that's a good thing. Okay, so we can start there. Um, let's see. It rained marshmallows at a Detroit park on Friday as children raced to snatch up thousands of marshmallows dropped from a helicopter. That's a lot of marshmallows. Hundreds of children waved and cheered as the helicopter passed its way into the drop zone. Once there, a passenger in the helicopter dumped out treats of marshmallows onto the grass below. Officials stressed that although the fluffy treats are tempting, they must not be eaten because they hit the ground. Instead, kids exchanged the marshmallows they collected for a prize bag containing candy, a coloring book, and a one-day pass to a water park. If there's if I'm a kid in this situation, I'm eating these marshmallows, right? Like, I'm not gonna trade them. If I'm going to if I'm going all out like World War III on other kids trying to collect marshmallows, just for someone to say, "Oh, don't eat that. Come get a coloring book and some other candy and a pass to a water park. Come exchange it for that." I'm on the fence. I mean, the water park kind of brings you back in, but dude, just let me eat the marshmallow. If you're gonna drop them from a what is the point of dropping marshmallows from a helicopter in a park onto thousands of kids if at the end of the day these kids have to just basically pick up the marshmallows and give them to someone else in exchange for something else? Why not just give the kids a bag of candy, a coloring book, and a one-day water park pass off the rip? Like, at this point, the adults in this situation are just like, yeah, let's just destroy this park with marshmallows and then have these kids clean it up for us. Like, I think that's what's going on here is the adults were just like, yo, let's go fuck around. We've got a surplus of marshmallows in the back. We have to use up before the quarter ends. Let's take the company helicopter over a park and just dump marshmallows. And then instead of cleaning them up, we'll just market it as like, oh, this is a kids event. Like, bring your kids, come pick up all these thousands of marshmallows that we've just dropped onto the ground just because we wanted to. Have your kids come pick them up, and then we'll give them like a bag of candy and a water park pass in exchange for their 20 minutes of cleanup. That's doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's okay. It was just a celebration. The weather is beautiful, so we were happy to get outdoors and interact and pick up some marshmallows. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what I just said like 3 minutes ago. This is the kind of thing that I love to hear. Kids being kids again. It's about damn time. I haven't seen a kid just frolic outside in so long, between like iPads, phones, COVID, like all these other random things. Like, I just, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see like kids as much as I used. That sounded so horrible. I don't see like, as I'm walking around outside, as I might be one day. You used to walk outside and like just see kids like playing around at the park, riding their bikes, hanging out with friends. Nowadays, you don't see any of that shit. Like, I'll go on a walk and I'm not looking for kids. Like, listen here. I know what you're thinking. That's not what's happening. I'm just out on a walk, a personal walk, just to clear my head. I don't see like this anymore. Like, I haven't seen enjoyment from a little child out in the sunlight in a hot minute. All the kids I've ever seen are just like fucking locked to a screen. So this is good news from all the other random shit that we just heard about these adults just deciding to drop marshmallows. The weather was beautiful, so we were happy to get outdoors and interact, said Robin Kinney, the mother of the Great It's called the Great Marshmallow Drop. One of whom took part in a special drop reserved for... Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. So, I remember how I said I didn't read any of this before going into it. Point proven. Point explained right here. One of whom took part in a special drop reserved for children with disabilities. So now, after reading this, everything that I just have been talking about for the last like 5 minutes, oh boy, I now this makes sense. This makes sense now. Okay. Uh, yeah. So this is The helicopter made 4 passes, dropping marshmallows aimed at kids 4 years old and younger, 5 to 7 year olds, and 8 to 12 years old with disabilities. Being a special needs mom, I love seeing events like these that are catered towards him so he doesn't feel excluded, Kinney said. Okay, so yeah, I totally misinterpreted this entire, and that's where it ends. Awesome. Of course it ends there. Fuck. God, I'm not that guy. I genuinely did not read into that at all until just now. And as we're not going to talk about the fact that I kind of was just dogging on him for the last 5 minutes until I found out what it was actually for. Now it makes complete sense. Just a fun activity for the kiddos, Can't believe I misinterpreted that one. This is why I should look into things before talking about them, because you never know when you get hit with a curveball like that. Like, I thought these assholes were just dropping marshmallows and making kids clean it up just for the hell of it. No, there's a cause behind that, and it's an annual event, so it's happened before in years past. So I'm going to blame that whole thing on ignorance on my end. Whoops. How to rebound from that? That's a good question. We rebound it with this next thing that I also wanted to talk about. Was this was from a little bit ago, like a month and a half ago or something. Oh, there goes my pen. But it was kind of sad, along the lines of like getting flowers and dropping marshmallows on disabled children. This one it really doesn't tie into it at all, but it's worth diving into. Elmo takes a turn as a therapist after asking, "How is everybody doing?" So maybe, I don't know if some of you had noticed like a month and a half, 2 months ago, but I've never been like a Sesame Street guy. I'll preface that right now. But like about a month and a half ago, like Elmo, the beloved Elmo, took himself to social media and would just start like posting on like Twitter or X or whatever you call it, and like Instagram, like, "Hey, how's everybody doing? Just checking in." Like Elmo normally would do on like an episode of Sesame Street. This says, at first glance, it might have looked like a run-of-the-mill social media check-in. How's everybody doing? From Elmo. The responses flooded on X and Instagram, Threads and Facebook. People started to unburden themselves, and Elmo took it all. On X alone, his question received 180 million views. That's wild. And the responses are just also wild. You have your typical run-of-the-mill, people would say stuff like, "Just on my way to buy some balsamic vinegar." Someone would say, "I'm doing okay, hope you are too." Other notes wished everyone a happy Friday, but then when the weekend was over on Monday, so about like a week after he posted his initial question, this says, "Things took a turn," and I quote. This one, someone said, "Not well, Elmo. They done raised rent and everything at this point. I'm coming to live with you on Sesame Street," someone told Elmo on Facebook. "Elmo, I'm having a super rough time. Like, very rough. I love you, though." I mean, people are like, I'm not going to read all of these, but some of these are like so sad. This one's like, I'm tired of being tired, broke, and unsure how to improve things, and I feel so disconnected from others. Keep in mind, folks, we're talking to a red uh, puppet made from synthetic fiber. Like this is just a puppet, a muppet, might you say? Um, yeah, people are just trauma dumping on Elmo. All love to the Sesame Street team for still taking care of us grown children. We may be chronologically outside the demographic, but we really never left the street. Oh, that one hit. Dude, this reminds me of like when Toys R Us went out of business. I don't know like if this happened to a lot of like everyone, but like for me, this is back when like the home landline was still a thing. Um First of all, remember when like the what was his name? Was it Georgie, the giraffe for Toys R Us, when he would like call you on your birthday? Oh my god, that was the sickest thing ever. It was just the giraffe of Toys R Us just calling you on your birthday, leaving you a message saying happy birthday, and then he would say your name. So then it felt real, dude. But anyways, when Toys R Us went out of business, they put like things up in their windows at like their stores saying like nobody wants to be like a Toys R Us kid anymore or something like that. I'm gonna have to look that up because it was Toys R Us closing sign. Uh oh yeah, this one, dude. It's it's Jeffrey, by the way, Jeffrey the giraffe. They put on their storefront signs. I guess everyone has grown up. There's no more Toys R Us kids. Oh, shambles, absolute shambles. I will always be a Toys R Us kid. Um, I mean that's part of the jingle. I don't remember what the jingle was, but that's one of those things that like as an adult you kind of look at and you look back and you're like, damn, time flies. Time flies. And but anyways, that's what this kind of Elmo story reminds me of, is just getting hit with that hard reality of life, of just like 1 minute you're young, Elmo's asking you like what's 2 plus 2. You're visiting Toys R Us, spending, stupid money on whatever kind of gadget you want. Next thing you know, you're 24 years old. You're living in a shared apartment. You have a lot of emotional baggage. Don't know how to pay rent. Struggling to provide food for your family. And just like overall, like kind of a mental wreck. Yeah. Oof. Tough times. Hey, but tough times create tough players, if you know what I'm saying. It's not an expression at all. Yeah, people are out here just trauma dumping on Elmo. Honestly, I think that's kind of a solid play. Because like I feel like people like in this demographic, in this generation, I mean, we don't like I really don't like people always will like you'll hear that like people are like, oh, therapy's good for you, you should do it, help me, yada yada, which I do agree with. um I've never actually done like legitimate therapy, but like I've had those types of conversations with people before. And yeah, it definitely does help, but I will say, as someone this age and of this generation, I yeah, I would feel 10 times more comfortable just not unloading on Elmo, but yeah, unloading on Elmo. I'm gonna stick with it. I would feel so much more comfortable unloading on Elmo is in terms of like emotional therapist type topics versus like a 35-year-old named Kevin in like a therapy office. Like I would much rather talk to an inanimate object and get like a response through social media than like face to face. Like that to me sounds like I won't pay $400 or whatever it is to get like better help, but I'll pay to get verified on Twitter so I can have open conversations with Elmo like this. That I think that in itself, that's all you really need. Like that's all therapy is, to be honest with you. Like it's just you finally coming out and like saying certain things and like expressing your true self or whatever. I think people would be more inclined to do that to an inanimate object on social media versus your traditional like, "Hey, I'm Bob. Tell me what's going through your mind right now. Look at I'm going to pull up a few pictures here and I want you to tell me exactly what you see, and based on what you see, I'm going to tell you whether or not you're psychotic." I would much rather have Elmo just on the other end of the line, just like, "How's it going? Give me a daily checkup, Elmo." Like that I'm okay with. Um yeah, I mean, fucking Elmo. Who would have thought? Again, I've never seen Sesame Street, but I know Elmo. If you don't know Elmo, like that's maybe you should go to true therapy if you don't know who Elmo is. Um but yeah, that's I mean, if you didn't know, like that's in the news. You've got a profound story of an annual marshmallow drop for disabled children that we found out today happens. So that's cool. And then you got Elmo getting trauma dumped on. And the best thing about that is you can't trauma dump on like a legitimate human being because that can cause some problems. I don't think us humans have the capability to like withstand that over time. But if we're talking about Elmo, an inanimate Muppet, dude, we anyone and anything can trauma dump on this thing, and he's not going to get overwhelmed. So maybe this is a great business venture. Therapy with inanimate objects. I'm going to trademark that right after recording this because I think that's a great business idea. Just because I think half the battle of getting people in therapy is they just don't want to talk to real people about real problems. So let's give someone Elmo. Let's give someone, uh, dude, like if you let me trauma dump on, let's see, I think like Minnie Mouse. If you let me trauma dump on Minnie Mouse, just give Minnie Mouse like an Instagram handle or Snapchat, and let me Snapchat her and just be like, she'll Snapchat me every morning and just be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I can just like, "Yo, not great today, Minnie. Took an L today, got to bounce back tomorrow." Just to have someone that's like reassuring me throughout my day, that would be nice. And that also goes back to, hey, nobody's giving me flowers, but hey, let's talk about reassurance here. I'll take you giving me reassurance any day over flowers. Give me reassurance over tulips. I'm a happy man. And that probably goes with all men, statistically speaking. I know that's scientifically proven that all men would rather have reassurance over flowers. You can mark my words that that's a true statement. Man, I wish I knew what time I started this recording at, but I just don't remember. Anyways, we'll just move on. We'll keep cruising. We've made it this far. We've already started off with some exciting news. There was I'm a big music guy. I love listening to music. Like I'm one of those people that always has to have something like playing 24/7 to like function. And if you aren't one of those people that like can just like A, work in silence, or B, like go get a workout in without music, or like be in your car without audibly listening to something, you're actual psycho, because that's crazy. I don't trust. There's a lot of people I don't trust, and you're one of those people. If you don't like, if you don't have like a dedicated monthly budget for ad-free music, that's a problem. That's a big trust problem there. But anyways, yeah, I always have to have music in the car, going to bed, waking up, going on a walk. Like it's just, there just has to be music. And I've heard so many different like types of music that it's like one of the thing that I'm about to talk about, like, it's just been like so funny to me of like, I've realized that there's certain situations in life in which, if in said situation there were to be like a soundtrack for that situation, I have so many different like soundtracks for different types of situations. And this is also a great, if you're listening and you want to go in on this business idea with me, let me know, because I think this could be highly profitable. Situational music, like that's totally a thing. As in, like, depending on the activity that you're doing, there will always be a specific soundtrack or song that could be played during that specific activity that would elevate that experience. I'm talking like like just behave as if like you're actually in a movie and you're watching it from like a third person point of view. In the activity that you're doing, what song would be playing in the background in said movie scene? Okay, that's kind of where this is leading to. But I thought, there's plenty of good songs for awesome celebrations. And on the flip side, there's so many options for poor song choices during horribly timed situations. So that's what I want to get into right now is if these songs were played at these situations, it would be a toss-up between like kind of fucked up, super funny, and also just like, it would just be hilarious if like these things actually happened out loud. Like I'm talking like if someone was just like, if God was just holding a boombox in the skies, and as these events were occurring, he was just hitting play to each of these songs. You can't tell me that what I'm about to talk about like would not be just hilarious. And I'll for example here, we're gonna set the stage here. You're hot start. Think about the time that you were in middle school, okay, and you had those middle school dances, like how crazy those were. I don't know how they allowed that, because I mean it's just impubescent men, just boys, should I say, just grinding on girls. Like it was just like 3 hours of that at the community recreation center. At least that's what it was for us. Like we're going to the community recreation center to spend 3 hours grinding on girls while just smelling doused with Axe Phoenix body spray, and also those like fighting like titanium necklaces that supposedly gave you energy or some shit like that. Like that, okay, that's the situation, right? You're at you're at a school dance, and the DJ decides to play pumped up kicks. If you don't understand why this is funny, I'm not going to say it, but right now I want you to go, first of all, listen to the song. Second of all, go into Google, type in pumped up kicks meaning. And you're going to find out why this would be an unfortunate situational song choice for a school dance. For those of you that do know what this song is about, then you understand why this is an unfortunate situational song for a school dance, a middle school dance. Okay. Pulling into number 2 here. Okay. You're at a funeral. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. You're at a funeral. Aunt Betty just kicked the can. It's you, your family, Aunt Betty's family in shambles. You're standing in a field of green, just hovering, not hovering, but just gazing down upon a closed casket. There's a priest doing a ceremony about the life that Aunt Betty lived. He's going through her, I don't know, what is it called? Your obituary. And then picture this. As the casket is getting lowered 6 feet into the ground, you just hear "The One That Got Away" by Katy Perry just in the background. Again, like these things, like it would be so, or like if someone's phone, if they didn't have their ringer turned down, or they didn't put their phone to vibrate and this was their ringtone, it's just Katy Perry singing "The One That Got Away" as the casket's just going lower into the ground. Like that, I mean, if that's my funeral, oh, yeah, please be my guest with that song. Like first of all, that's a banger of a song. Second of all, that is so funny that as you're telling me goodbye, you're also saying I'm the one that got away. That is fucking hilarious, dude. So yeah, the one that got away while visiting Aunt Betty's funeral. Or is that the wake? Or is the wake the thing before, like in the church? One of the two. Either way, you're getting 6 feet under with a little KP action. The third one, situational song, unfortunate situational song would have to be, okay, so you're you want a sweepstakes competition to go visit and tour the White House. Okay. You and all your friends, I don't know why that you would enter a sweepstakes to enter a sweepstakes to go tour the White House. Oh, no, here we go. You're at the White House for a field trip in school. You're in school at the White House for a field trip, touring, seeing everything, okay? And then some jokester decides to cue up Spotify and play Burn the House Down by AJR. What an unfortunate, like, as soon as that chorus comes up, we gonna burn the whole house down. I think Secret Service is taking you down at that point. That would be hilarious if you're just meeting with the president and I mean, chances of him knowing this song is slim to none, first of all. Second of all, that would be so funny if just throughout the loudspeakers in the White House, someone is just playing Burn the House Down by AJR. Now, by no means am I like saying like, oh, let's go burn down the White House. I'm just saying in this scenario, that would be so funny if you're just touring the White House and someone starts playing like Burn the House Down. It's just a bit ironic, you know? Some of these are a stretch, but like this one, you're at I don't know what faith or religion you follow, but everyone knows what communion is, right? So when you stand in line at church and you take that sip of wine from that community goblet thing that can't be sanitary by any means, and you know there's backwash in there, so you have to be at the front of that line. Otherwise, if you're last in communion, dude, First of all, you're not getting any of that bread stuff. And second of all, whatever wine you're drinking, at that point, at the end of the line, it's not wine. It's probably like 25% wine, 75% backwash from people just like, oh, going in and then coming right back out. Like it's, ugh. Nonetheless, though, picture yourself walking up to take this offering of wine and bread, and as you're walking up, the church is just dead silent as it is, and you're next in line. All of a sudden, "Bottoms Up" by Trey Songz starts playing. You're sipping wine to "Bottoms Up" by Trey Songz in front of this entire church group. That's got to be the most elite thing I've ever heard. Bottoms up. Let's dive into bottoms up. Trey Songz. Not gonna play it because the last time I played songs, it got flagged, so that sucks. Can I get the lyrics for this song? Maybe. How about that, huh? Okay, so you're about to take a swig of this wine goblet from a priest in the middle of church. And all of a sudden you hear, bottoms up, hey, what's in your cup? Got a couple bottles, but a couple ain't enough. Bottoms up, throw your hands up. Tell security we about to tear this club up. Bottoms up, pocket full of green. Girl, you know I love it. You know I love the way you shake it in them jeans. Bottoms up, throw your hands up. Bottoms up, up. If I heard that while I'm taking down communion at church, I don't care how much backwash is in that goblet, I'm drinking the entire thing and I'm getting blasted. Absolutely blasted at church. Like no hesitation, bro. If someone plays Trey Songz as I'm taking down a sip of communion, cancel the ceremony because I'm going to be drunk in 10 minutes and I'm going to go in the back looking for more of this communion wine. Do not play Trey Songz Bottoms Up as I'm taking this offering. But that would be so hilarious if that was the case. Let's see here. Okay, now you're in the courtroom, and you've just committed like a heinous crime. Let's say you committed murder in the is the first degree. I think the first degree murder is like the worst thing you could possibly do. So you're awaiting trial. Okay, maybe not you, but said individual, someone is awaiting trial for first degree murder in a courtroom. And it's at that point in I was about to say performance. These guys aren't performing in the courtroom. They're just doing their job. There's no performance. But you're at that point in the trial where the jury has come to a decision and you as the defendant is about to hear, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? Basically, in this case, if you're going for first degree murder, you're basically not guilty. You get a walk. If you are guilty, that's a life sentence in prison, right? For first degree, I would imagine so. But in this case, either you or said individual in this position awaiting this decision, as the lead juror stands to give his case and state out what they found, imagine just hearing Pat Benatar in the background just start blaring, "Hit me with your best shot." Now, yeah, if I knew I didn't commit this crime, I will happily blast "Hit me with your best shot" and fucking fire away. I'll happily sing that in the middle of a courtroom if I knew I didn't do it. Now, if I did do this, and if it was like, if they had like some evidence against me, maybe this is not the best place to perform, because hit me with your best shot. Well, they're about to. They're going to slap you with the best shot in the book, which is a triple life sentence in prison. In that case, don't hit me with your best shot. Just don't hit me at all, and let me walk. But nonetheless, hit me with your best shot, Pat Benatar, awaiting a juror's decision. Talk about these are all like. Notice that these are all. Someone put me. I don't know what position this is considered, but someone put me on a movie set as the person that decides what soundtracks need to be played during what parts of the movie, because that's exactly what I'm doing right here. And I think I'm doing it phenomenally well. Even in the case of these are poor, unfortunate situational songs, these are great examples of all of them. So if anyone's looking for this type of work, let me know because I'm great at this. Like playing Welcome to the Jungle during a home invasion. That's something that if I'm on the other end of that, if I'm the home invader breaking into a house and all of a sudden I just hear Welcome to the Jungle start playing, oh, I'm shitting my pants and I'm getting the fuck out of this house, because whoever is about to appear out of the shadows, I know is either a mixed martial artist or a heavily armed, like redneck guy that just woke up, slammed like a 12 case of Millers, and just shotgun in one hand, fucking pistol in the other, and he's just ready to go to town on this home invader. That would terrify me. But that would also be so sick to be like the person that is on the like that's your home and you get to start playing that. Like that's terrifying if you had to hear that song and you're committing a home invasion. Probably the quickest way to get me out of doing that is by hearing that in the middle of trying to rob a house or invade a home. Yeah. So, last one here is I don't know if I should say this one. But okay, we will. We're not afraid. Okay, so this is nah. No, we're gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna set the scene for you. Maybe this will soften the blow. You're laying in bed, but it's not your bed, and this is not a one night stand situation either. This is a hospital bed that you're laying in. Okay, follow me closely with this one because I'm gonna dance around it to make it not as fucked up as it actually is. You're in a hospital bed. You're gazing out of the window, looking at the weather, admiring, the freedom that unfolds just on the other side of that window pane. And the doctor walks in, and he has the results you've been waiting on. Okay. You've been having some issues, some physical issues, and something's not right, but you went to go get checked out, right? Well, the doctor's back in the room, okay, and he sits down and he just shoots you straight, and he says, "You know what, blank, whatever your name is, listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Things are not looking good, okay." What we found is that this thing that you came in for, that you were concerned about, you are rightfully concerned about it because it is a terminal illness. Okay, all jokes aside, you are bedridden now with a terminal illness in a hospital. Doesn't look like it goes up from there, right? A couple months go by and you're doing like everything you can. Doctors helping you out, but it's terminal. Like, what can you do? The reason why it's terminal is because you can't stop it. So it's been a couple months of this kind of back and forth of like, oh, this might work. Let's try this. Let's try that. But at the end of the day, you know what you're dealing with. You know how much time you might not have left because of said terminal illness. And it's just, fast forward a couple months, now you're laying in bed and you're really struggling. You're really battling these demons. You don't know what's going on. Nothing's working. Let's say you have like a 3% chance of living in the next 3 weeks. You're really just people like the world is kicking you while you're down, so to speak. And the only way that would make this worse, according to everything that I've just thought of, the only thing that could make this situation worse. But for me, like if I'm in this position, this would make me laugh out loud, as if I'm laying there just contemplating my life or lack thereof, and if I heard over the hospital like speakers, like the music that plays, if I just heard it out in the hallway, like the Bee Gees just staying alive, if I heard that shit while I was battling a terminally, like if while I was terminally ill, some people might think, "Oh, that's sad." No, I'm thinking that this is fucking hilarious. Staying alive while battling a terminal illness. That is top tier shit. Um, and maybe not all people would agree, but the type of person I am, I'm taking that on the chin, and I'm taking it as a sign that I'm just out here staying alive. Um, that would be ridiculous though if that were true, and if that maybe that happens in the future, and I look back on this and I'm like, wow, I thought it would be funny, but it's not. Um, that might happen, but I think for the most part, like if I'm in that position and that song cues up, oh my god, I'm rolling out of that hospital bed, crying out loud on the floor, probably end up like killing myself while falling on the floor. Um, but I mean, honestly, if I go out to "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees, legendary, absolutely. Like if I die and the last song that was playing during my death was "Staying Alive," how ironic is that? That would be hilarious. Um, yeah. So just some, again, I think that what I just explained for the last 15, 20 minutes, I think that's a great business opportunity. So if anyone is in the space looking to develop I don't know if that would be like a board game, so to speak, but nonetheless, let's get a game going called what would we call it? Probably like just situational. No, that's too cliche. I don't know. We can talk about it once we dive into the deep details, the nitty gritty, so to speak. But yeah, if you're looking for a venture and that's the kind of space you want to dive into, let me know, because I think I have the brains and the wits to take us all the way there. Okay. Again, I don't know what time I started this, and I really don't want to like get up and like stop the recording just because I think it's been almost an hour. I mean, it's 1 o'clock right now. I hope it's been an hour. I probably have like 10 minutes left to go though. Oh, listen to this shit. I washed. So I was doing my laundry last week, and you ever have one of those moments where you're just like, fuck, like that's it. Like, do you ever just think about something and you just take a second, close your eyes, and you're just like, fuck, like in that tone, like, god damn it, like, fuck. Yeah, I had one of those last week. When I washed my AirPods in the washing machine. Yep, I had that exact moment. I was doing my laundry for like I do every week, and I'm no suspect to clean laundry, but I go to start my load, get it started, and a couple hours go by, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to the gym, get a quick workout in, keep this physique going that I have. And I'm like, okay, let me grab my AirPods, my water bottle, my phone, and let's go to the gym. You ever opened your AirPods case and they weren't in there? And then your heart kind of just stops for a minute because that's where they should be, but they're not in there, you know? I know you've had that moment before where you're just like, for a split second, you open that case, you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, oh. And then you kind of, everything starts coming back to you. But for that split second, you're like, what the fuck? So that happened. So I opened the AirPods case. Nothing was in there. And so I was like, I had that, oh, fuck. And then upon further thinking, I was like tracing my steps and like, where the fuck would they be? And then I'm like, oh man, like I've looked everywhere. The one place I haven't looked is in my pockets for that I just did like a load of laundry for. And so to my chagrin, again, that's the second time I've used that in like 4 weeks. Not sure if I'm using it right. But I'm like, let's go. I hope they're not in there, but let's go see. I opened the washing machine and immediately, this is not a joke, immediately, without moving anything, just opening the door, AirPod tumbles out onto the floor. Just falls out of the pile of laundry onto the floor. So now I'm already like, I'm like, fuck, like I knew it was going to be in here. I was hoping it wasn't going to be, but this just confirmed it, right? This AirPod that just tumbled out innocently onto the ground confirms everything that I've been thinking. So I pick it up and I'm like, well, might as well look for the other one too. Found the other one, at the bottom of the washing machine. And, off rip, I'm like, these aren't going to work right now. Like they aren't, obviously they just were soaked in water for an hour, spun in the spun cycle on medium, and also washed with like Tide Pods. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not an idiot. Like, yeah, these things aren't going to work right now, but let's just let them dry out and we'll see what happens here in a couple hours. Well, let them dry out, so I thought, and got them charged back up and put them into my ears, and I got absolutely obliterated by the sound of just like a high-pitched frequency. Like it's so fucked. Yeah, I thought it had been like 6 hours, but they still just did not work. So yeah, I had to go to Best Buy and buy a new set of pods because I fucked up on the old ones. But that's okay because I'm still faithful that like these ones will dry out in a couple months, hopefully, and then I can just have like two sets and be that bougie guy that has 2 sets of AirPod Pros. Like, are you kidding me? Fucking sign me up. But yeah, no, that was a big bummer because like I said, it was just one of those moments where you stand still for a second and you close your eyes and you're like, fuck, like, god damn it. It was just one of those slip ups, but it happens to us from time to time. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you react to what happens to you. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys with today. On this little inspirational note of, things in life will happen to you. For me, it was my AirPods that got just demolished by a washing machine. For you, it might be, you drop your breakfast on the kitchen floor, or you get hit by a bus. Anything in between can happen to you. And anything in between will happen to you. That's just life, right? But what I've learned throughout my 24 years of existence on this planet, what I've learned is it's not about, yeah, sure, you might get hit by a bus. That did happen to you. But how did you respond to that? Did you lay there in a broken physical body form with broken femurs and broken tibias and wrists and arms and a shattered skull? Or did you get up and brush it off and move on with life? Because I think that's what the world needs right now is people that, a lot of people right now are getting kicked while they're down. But if these people that are down would just realize, like, all you got to do is get up, and then that expression goes away. Like, you can't kick someone while they're up. That doesn't make sense. It's not an expression. But you can kick someone while they're down. So if you don't want to be kicked while you're down, get up, dude. Like, get up. It's 1 + 2. It's red and blue making purple. Like, it's just simple logic. Like, things in life are going to happen to you, and it's all about how you respond to them. That's it. It's as simple as that. And this goes with anything. Like, oh, you just got broken up with by your high school sweetheart. Take 3 seconds, cry about it, get upset, get emotional about it. After 3 seconds, fucking drop it. Like, you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. Just to move on. Find someone else. You just wasted, 7 years of your life with the same person, and now that they're gone and you have freedom to do things, now you're gonna get upset? No. Take some time, take 3 seconds, get mad, get upset, get vengeful about it, and then pack that shit up, drop it off, and leave it. Like, you don't need that shit anymore. So this is my Monday morning motivation for you guys, and I'll leave it at the end here so that you can end this end this recording with a solid understanding of life and how to live it. And maybe this will turn into like a weekly thing. I don't know. But the lesson for today is life is going to shit on you. But it's not about how much life shits on you. It's about how well do you clean up? How well can you clean it up? Okay? That's what we're going to leave it with. All right, guys. It's been real. Hopefully this is at like about an hour, but I genuinely couldn't tell you whether it is or not because I don't remember when I started it. That's been episode 4. We're going to wrap it up here. As usual, find me on Instagram, Jason_Thornton2. Find these videos on like YouTube or something, the full length video and audio files. Jason_Thornton. TikTok, same thing. Find clips from this hour-long spiel. And other than that, I hope you guys have a miserable Monday, and I will see you guys next week. See ya. Peace.